Oh, all right.
Oh,
If you're
yes.
ready, I'm ready.
Right on.
All right, here we go. Good Friday, everyone. Chuck Ramsey, the Lawdog, here with you on Talk Sports, the Weekend Big Show. Joined by my time compadre now. Back since 2018, we started this, Jeremy. We're not quite as regular with the frequency of broadcasts as we once were, but we still get on here from time to time. And I figure going into Super Bowl Media Week would be an opportune time for us to get together and talk some sports.
Sounds great. Life is finding a way, huh?
That's right. It does. So we're streaming live on Facebook. So we'd love to hear from anybody who tunes in and wants to interact with us. We'll always, we'll never tune you out. I know that, and do our best to involve everyone. And think I already see Dan Narva checking in with us. The Benjamin Button of our fan base.
Buck Rogers.
And so I guess he was checking in to see we're running late. So we had some issues with the streaming service. My apologies for that. But anyways, Dan Narva will probably be checking in. There's probably going to be a chance that he gets just asked to jump in as a co-host because we used to have some fun when this was a trio for sure.
Most definitely. Corey's too busy for us now. We need to.
He's a busy guy. I will.
Yeah, he is.
That. I mean, he the whole Dave Campbell thing, and then when you take on small college coverage, you're taking on a whole lot of schools.
There are hundreds of small colleges to cover down there in Texas.
Yeah, and not necessarily. I mean, I'm sure they all have websites. I'm sure they all put out a sports information report, but it's not always. It's hold on a second. Yeah, it's not always going to be as prevalent as what you can find about the big D1 schools. But anyways, so you
Looks like we lost our live feed.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me hit play and see what happens. Okay, I'm looking at you from the past. Oh my gosh, this was months ago.
Oh, so I still show, well, maybe it's running behind. I don't know.
Okay, let's see.
No, it's there. I mean, I've got my phone, so
there we are. All right.
Yeah. And I'm not recording this for audio because I'm too cheap to pay SoundCloud to add more podcasts. So I mean, with the infrequencies we do it, and if we jump on Facebook Live, it's kind of preserved right there. So
that it is. Lawdog Sports homepage.
That's right.
Media.
Right media. And there may be another one upcoming, kind of similar but different venue. We'll see. But it's kind of in prep. But so, anyways, I tell you, you're sporting the Chiefs Kingdom, I see, and so obviously, you've been aware of all the virtue signaling by the sports talk host this week about people who complain about Taylor Swift.
I don't like it. But as long as Jason Kelsey's there, it balances out.
Well, I mean, if it makes your in happy in his old age, and kudos to him. I'll say this, and this is my rant. I think as a person who has been annoyed, I guess you could say, just by saying, good grief, what are they, who cares? I would say probably this week has been more people trying to generate clicks from the participants of that pop star's fan base to get some, and talked about the pencil neck out in California. That's his whole shtick.
Well, yeah, and they're known colloquially as the Swifties.
They were to not be mentioned on this program, but go right ahead.
I'm sorry. Unfortunately, I have one in my home.
Well, sure. I mean,
Yeah,
you
the
know,
wife shows up like, oh, I want to watch the Chiefs game. No, you don't. Go back in the room, shut
oh,
the door, watch
yeah,
something else.
I was
Not like this.
I was banking on the young Miss Schroeder, not your
Oh no, 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 no.
wife,
She's not so much. No,
your
no.
daughter
I'm
growing up
raising her
with
right.
that. Well, and, and I hate to take a personal jab at you, but I mean, it's like comic book movies. I just haven't been able to get it going because I quit liking comic books at 12.
Well,
And
some of us never grew out of that,
well,
and
and good for you. And I'm not hating on it. It's not my thing. The thing with the Swifties and with Taylor Swift, and there's your fellow Chiefs fan Marty Wandry checking in as well. So
That's right, baby. Go Chiefs.
Marty over at Clinton Liquor. In fact, I think his fantasy team was a Chiefs moniker.
It
Uh,
was.
yeah, Martin's Chiefs or something like that. But uh, and kudos to MJ Baird for winning the fantasy league. Man, he came out of nowhere and rode that Cowboy regular season train all the way to a fantasy championship.
The only championship any Cowboys are going to win this year.
I got to
How
mail
about
him.
them Cowboys?
Yeah, I got to mail him a Lawdog sports shirt as well for his victory. Marty, thanks for checking in over at Clinton Liquor. And so I tell you, my thing is with it is last week the pencil neck out in California, and then I also noticed Dan Orlovsky, and then David Letterman. I saw something on him, but I almost wonder if Dave wasn't doing it as a gag or something because he kept calling him Kelsey Grammer, and so
Or maybe, or maybe he's just,
he could be hitting that point. I
right.
recognize the
He's
sign.
confused.
Yeah,
Yes. Well, we see it every time our president speaks, whatever that means.
man. Yeah, whatever. Yeah. And then you get to hear some obscenities sometimes when a political commentary um when a political commentary starts online at a presidential sports, but whatever.
Sure.
No, but so my thing is, Jeremy, is with I second when I'm looking at things and I think, okay, this annoys me. Generally, what doesn't annoy me, the actual event isn't what annoys me. It's the coverage of said event. Because
Well,
I'll sit and watch the news. I'll sit and watch. I mean, we watch Inside
it's
Edition in the afternoon. It's kind of a guilty pleasure, to see all the crap.
it's the you see Travis catch a 1 yard swing pass and they immediately pop up to the luxury box that the Red Queen is sitting in. Is that what the problem
Yeah,
is?
and really,
Well,
I would probably be able to handle a lot more if she wasn't all of a sudden bringing Brittany Mahomes into it.
well, and I think Brittany Mahomes may owe Taylor Swift a massive debt of gratitude, up to and including her firstborn, just so most of us can, forget what an awful human being she is.
Jackson's been laying low too. I haven't noticed him. I
Yeah, yeah.
think
Well,
he's
I mean,
the bear hug.
he's there.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
staying off. He's been coached. So, but anyways, long story short is I don't care two squats about the virtue signaling from some guy who's just trying to generate clicks. If you're annoyed by it, okay, you're annoyed by it, but that doesn't mean you're some loser sitting in front of a keyboard talking to a guy about sports that nobody listens to on a Friday morning.
At
Oh,
least one person's
wait,
listening.
wait, never mind. Never mind. Sorry, Marty, we don't disconnect. But you know what I mean. I mean, I think Coward even went into men who've never known intimacy with a woman, and that's the people. First off, how do you know who the people are that are griping about it? You're supposedly not tuned into social media.
Oh,
You're
he's tuned
oh,
in.
yeah, he is. Burner
Well,
account.
he's tuned into Sooner Nation and social media. Uh, Marty Jackson had his charges dropped,
Oh, so
so
the
he's
so the restaurant owner got bought off, huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Probably cost a game check or two from Big Bro.
She should be in the Mahomes trust now. I will say that.
Yeah.
'Cause she was getting attacked. I saw the video. He's a predator.
Oh, he is he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
He's a weirdo. Wow.
But
Wow. His
like
whole Him and his dad seem like kind of normal people. I don't know about mom,
Yeah,
but
she's not like
mm.
she's not like Alonzo Ball mom, is she? That's like out of somehow, some way.
I don't think so. She wore a jersey one time that said quarterback producer on the back. I think that's the most annoying thing she's done.
That's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
That's pretty bad. Well, and okay, so enough about the periphery. Let's talk football. I I'm pretty amazed at the Chiefs in the fact that they're able to overcome so much. But I mean, all the focus is always on the offense, and I'm telling you, that Chiefs defense, you, the teams better get ready. Whatever they
Yeah.
did to make Baltimore just fly out of their mind.
Trying to remember the last time Kansas City's defense gave up more than 10 points in a ball game.
Well, yeah, and then to take away or just I mean, it makes you wonder if they threatened them before the game. If you run the ball, we're going to knife you or something. I mean,
Well, I mean, they never really attempted to run the
that's what I'm
football.
saying. It's like they
Here's what happened.
did before they even could stop them.
Well, here's what happened. And Marty, you can back me up on this.
Marty will.
Kansas, Kansas City elected, they deferred, took the ball in the second half, kicked the ball off. Lamar goes 3-and-out. They tried to run the ball one time and then throw it 3-and-out. Kansas City gets the ball. And it seemed like the rest of the half, they were just driving down to score a touchdown. And the Ravens, Munkin, was so rattled that he threw his game plan out the window. And it was, sorry, Lamar, you're going to have to be Superman. Well, we all know that Lamar is an underperformer in the playoffs.
He
And that's what killed him.
Like any quarterback, you got to get him comfortable and you got to get him help, and help is a running game. But
Running game and tight end, bro.
the game plan you just described almost is the what was it, the Peach Bowl 2019? Sounds
Pretty much.
sounds like Muleshoe was in the huddle somewhere nearby and said, "Yeah, you got this mobile quarterback. Let's keep him in the pocket and see if we can get him to be more accurate than he's been all season." Uh,
Let's see if Jalen Hurts can get to his ninth read.
yeah, exactly.
But
That,
he hasn't done it all year.
that was the Muleshoe. That was definitely the Muleshoe strategy that night, but it might not have mattered. But still, um, and we used to say this. You think about it back in the old John Blake days when they never could settle on a quarterback, never could get a quarterback comfortable. And I remember hearing one time against they lost to Colorado or something, and a comment was brought up. If you just throw the ball down the field, you're at least got it in their mind. If you don't even attempt it, and then with a running game, every every other down should be something that you try to get yardage with on the run.
Oh my gosh, you're giving me flashbacks because the next game they played Texas, and the
Yeah,
first play from scrimmage, Brandon Daniels threw like a 50-yard completion downfield, and then they never threw the ball the rest of the game.
yeah, yeah. 90.
What's
And was that the Ricky
it?
Williams breakout? Yeah, that was the
Ricky Williams, Demont Parker game. Is that it?
oh, that was 97. Uh
Okay.
98. What wasn't it 98? The Rex Ryan send the house and Applewhite burned him for 99.
Yeah, because 97 OU actually beat Texas, and that was the James Allen game, right?
96.
96. That would have been
97 was
Blake's
Parker, Ricky
Blake's first win.
yes. 97 was Damon Parker, Ricky Williams. Both of them had over 200 yards rushing, I think. And then 98 was the debacle with the 99-yard, completion for a touchdown. So
Yeah.
anyways, but back on the Chiefs, that's the thing about that Baltimore team is and Monken. I never have really caught the whole luster on him. I mean, he
If
was
you have a if you
the one
have
that was at OSU, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think
But if you have a great quarterback who does the right things with the football and can get you out of a bad play or get you into a great play with his legs, you just kind of have to turn him loose, right?
we said that after the Peach Bowl.
Yeah.
For 2 reads and go. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and think about it. Here's what I don't get either, and I know you can't subject your quarterback to hits or anything like that, but I mean, if you did 3 downs of first 2 reads and go, and you get 3 yards a carry, you're short yardage for first down, or, I mean, I the impatience of football teams is what just astounds me nowadays.
Yeah, but it also seemed like anytime that the Ravens did make a play, it was fluky.
Well,
Like
yeah,
the touchdown pass. I mean, he got hit 4 times and then scrambled and just threw it as far as he could, and there just happened to be somebody down there.
yeah, and then what was it?
Pass to himself.
Himself, and, I knew it was a bad day for them when that was the extent of, like, any sort of highlights or anything. It's like, he didn't even get that far, he just got a first down, and it's like
Yeah, and then they punted 3 plays later.
exactly, so
Yeah, well, the Ravens they made their bed.
yeah.
They came out, they tried to be a bully, and they got punched right in the face, and then just sat down. But they get what they get.
Well, and as a defense, you go out there and look at it and you say, they held Mahomes to 17 points when their when their offense was totally inept. So
Oh
I
yeah, but Mahomes and Reed, to an extent, have matured enough to say, okay, you're going to play deep zone, or you're going to play us deep, or we can't just throw the ball down the field. All right, we'll take 9 minutes to score. That
yeah,
means you got the ball less.
and
Our defense is good enough that we'll just stop you, get the ball back, and do it again.
there comes that patience that I was talking about, Jeremy. Remember, I mean, you can go to any you can go to any air raid team, go all the way, and another bad memory to bring up for you, OSU 2001. You couldn't just sit back there. Granted, Hibble wasn't going to scramble or anything like that, but they if he wasn't hitting those big chunk plays, then it's like the offense just got stagnant and they got scared and wouldn't take the short stuff and just pick them
Yep.
apart. And that's
Wasn't Hibble like unconscious for half of that game too?
he might have taken a little extra
I
hit here
seem to remember him doing the
but
full
that's
body wave out there in the huddle.
But therein lies the thing. If you're going to spread it out, and not run the quarterback or not, and granted, having the running game is what works. So, kudos to Kansas City, but they didn't. I don't think they faced I start to say Orioles team, a Ravens team that was really intent on working on their best facets, I guess.
No, they weren't. Like I said, they threw their game plan right out the window when Kansas City punched them right in the nose first time they had the ball.
Well, and then also, just that Kansas City defense, you can't really you can't discount them much anymore. They get out there and they take care of their business. And I don't know, a young man, I say young, he's quite a bit younger than us. He's a friend of mine's son, but he used to join me on a version of this podcast back in 2015,
Hmm.
and he was just out of college. He's on Twitter, Jared Porter, and him and his dad are huge Chiefs fans too. And so he came up with some sort of rhyme about Jarius Sneed, and I gave him pretty hard time about it. So, anyways, um, but long story short is I like the Chiefs going forward just because of the fact that they're going to have the experience on the offensive side, and now their defense will get out there and really put a hat on someone.
Well, it makes a world of difference, being able to actually get stops, limit the other team from what they're trying to do instead of just relying on 15.
Yeah.
But man,
Well,
Mahomes is he's on just a completely other level than anybody in the league right now.
he does a lot of things, but I'll tell you this much: it was funny to watch Detroit drop the ball against San Francisco, and Brock Purdy looking more like Lamar Jackson than Lamar Jackson did that day.
That was crazy watching him run. I didn't. I guess I did. We see him run the ball much at Iowa State?
I don't think so. I don't remember. I don't know if
I
Colin
remember him trying to run the
expected
ball
him.
once in Norman.
Oh, he still feels Perry and Winfrey in his back.
Yeah, that's pretty incredible. Just how Detroit folded
Yeah. Well, and I heard it explained as big unit energy that people are Detroit fans, and if Dan, I think Dan tried to find us earlier. We were running late, so he's not joining.
Okay.
Dan Narva, our super fan up in Michigan, big Tigers Lions, fan. I don't know about Pistons, but anyways, a lot of the Detroit faithful seems like they're you know you can be an alpha male and you don't always have to throw out that you're the alpha male. And
You could be alpha and not go for every fourth down,
yeah,
especially when if you kick a field goal, you're up 3 possessions and
and you lose
in
by,
control.
and then
Yeah.
so now maybe San Francisco would have overcome that regardless. I don't know. And it's I don't want to beat a dead horse, but yeah, I mean, here's something I'd like to know: if we could poll like 10 pro coaches, 10 college coaches, and
Oh,
10.
there's Dan. Big Mo changed when they got the drop pass. Take the points. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Thanks, Dan. We appreciate you checking in, brother. And so let's see.
And Marty checking in that he read the last 12 games, KC's defense only gave up an average of 4 points in the second half. That is true. Uh, man, Spags is he's killing it. And I can't believe he didn't parlay that into a head coaching job, but like old Dan Quinn.
Yeah, Dan Quinn, his defense lays the biggest egg of his tenure in Dallas. Commander's job. So,
Gave up a
yeah,
47 burger at home in the playoffs, and you
kudos
get to
to
go
you,
coach it.
friend.
Here's your well. I mean, what's a better job, D coordinator at Dallas or the head coach in Washington?
I don't know. I mean, and kind of what my point was going to be. Thanks, Dan Narva, for popping in, and I'm sure we'll interact with you and Marty a little more. But uh, you know, Barry Switzer used to preach about, I guess he got it from Jim McKenzie, about play the percentages. You know, I just wonder how much of that's been thrown out in today's coaching landscape on a
It
professional
seems
and high school level.
well, they have that sheet that says, okay, well, if you're up this many, you go for two. If it's fourth and how many, go for it, punt, whatever. It just seems like now everything says is go for two
Be aggressive.
and go for it on fourth down.
Yeah.
Sometimes discretion is a better part of valor, and sometimes 3 points is enough to win.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they missed two fourth downs in that second half, right?
And they were both in the red zone, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
But you also have to realize that playoff football is different than regular season football. Playoffs, every point is precious. You need every single point. You don't leave points on the table.
Well, and probably when you go for it on fourth down and you had an opportunity, like you said, to make it a three score lead or three possession lead, you probably sent the message to the other side that you're scared, and you could cave in this second half.
That is exactly what is desperation.
Yeah,
You're up 2 possessions.
yeah.
Go up three.
And yeah, you could put the death nail in somebody by getting a touchdown, whatever the case, but but here's the thing.
It's just like in the Dallas game. They got the two, the horrible officiating call that took it away. They go for it again, and
Yeah.
they go for it again. They went for it how many times? 3 times in that possession. Just take the extra point and move on. Tie the game,
Well,
go to overtime. You've got all the momentum in the world.
and you could be a culture changer, and you can be the guy who flip things around. And if you puke down your leg, the faithful aren't necessarily going to be on your side.
Well, you know who's going to understand kicking those field goals in those moments?
Hmm. Andy,
His daggone quarterback that went to the Super Bowl with the
yeah,
Rams.
yeah.
The
Super
leader of
Bowl
the
they went
team understands it.
the Super Bowl they went to by cheating the Saints, but whatever.
I digress. I don't think the Rams cheated the Saints. I believe that was the guy standing there not throwing the flag.
Hashtag scripted league.
Hey, a lot of that has been debunked with the Super Bowl logo conspiracy.
Yeah, yeah,
This year was supposed to be Baltimore, San Francisco, with Baltimore winning because their color was on the bottom of the logo.
yeah. You could. Yeah, you're right. So that conspiracy theory busted. Um,
Just one of them.
I will call Coast to Coast AM this morning. So see what they say.
Yeah.
Um,
George Norrie's still doing that.
yes, he is, and he is proudly
Okay.
broadcasted on the airwaves in Western Oklahoma on News Talk KCLI, owned by powered by Wright Broadcasting Systems. So, yeah, I work late most nights, and I'll tune into a little Coast to Coast AM.
Nice. Nice.
Just see if I'm conducting my what is it, the remote channeling correctly.
You got to keep up with the news.
That's right.
You can throw it over on the Eagle and listen to Alex Jones after 9 o'clock too. If you want to hear about turning frogs, whatever. And
Uh, when I worked with you out at the out at the airport, I used to catch one called Ground Zero that on the station there in Oklahoma City that was like would run for 2 hours before Coast to Coast.
Mhm.
It was like it was some scary conspiracy. I was like, man, I got to listen to Coast just to kind of get some normalcy.
You go home and get your tinfoil hat.
You called it. Anyways, so Super Bowl predictions. I mean, we should probably go ahead and throw something out now. I'll just say this: Kyle Shanahan, an offensive genius. Uh, obviously, I mean, I'm not here to pick apart Brock Purdy's career, his tangibles, his intangibles, any of that. He's obviously the quarterback they've needed to get them to this point because apparently Trey Lance, the forward pass was just beyond him. Um, they blow their second pick, and whoever John Lynch, Shanahan, whoever was scouting that guy, and we'll get into some draft if we can, but um, Purdy is just a guy who knows how to play quarterback. He's nothing exceptional except when he's forced to run. But I mean, I just feel like Kyle Shanahan has a lot of Texas-based underachieving in his bloodline.
Well, to touch on Purdy, he's not a game manager,
No,
but he's not a superstar.
no.
He's in that area right there. He's a good starting quarterback in the NFL.
Is he a young
Yeah.
Kirk Cousins?
He may be like a golf.
Yeah, yeah, and that's
He can make plays you need him to make. He can make plays with his legs, but he's not at the level of an Rodgers. Man, I'm trying to think of great quarter Baker.
accuracy king.
Yeah. Hey, yeah, I saw that last night. He's just slinging dimes out there. That's
He went a long way on his PR too with the post event interview where
yeah. He
Mike
needs to.
Clark asked and he goes,
The
"Well,
rest of the world needs to
truth."
see what the rest of the world needs to see what we see here.
But you're talking about and man, we're digressing, but he's going through another offensive coordinator now, so we'll see how
He
that.
might not even be back with the Bucks.
Yeah, he could be somewhere else. Maybe
Someone who needs a quarterback is going to offer him a bag because he's got experience and he's still only 28.
yeah. Chiefs 27, 49ers 21 per Marty Wandry. A little bit of a slanted opinion there, but I think he could be right. I think that's a
I'm
prediction.
all right. Every fiber of my being says 49ers.
Really?
49ers, 49ers, 49ers. Yes.
I don't feel.
But my logical mind says as long as 15 is on 2 feet out there, Kansas City's going to win.
Yeah. What's
And
Sneed's?
what's that?
What is L'Jarius Sneed's number?
38.
Yeah. If he's out there, I like him. I mean, that
Oh,
guy.
well, Jarius Sneed, Chris Jones, McDuffie, Furious George, Carl Aftis.
Yeah.
Willie Gay should be playing. Nick Bolton.
Hey,
Drew Tranquil has been kicking it.
something we didn't mention is two Sooners on the offensive line, right?
That's right. Well, I don't know if Wanye is going to play
Oh, really?
because both tackles are healthy now. They're Joe Thuney's out. He's the best one on the line. I mean, next to Creed, of course, but he's all pro. They brought him up from the Patriots a couple years ago. He's out. He tore a pec. Nick Allegretti will be starting. He was on that infamous offensive line that about got Mahomes killed against the Buccaneers in the Super Bowl. But he wasn't the one that was so horrible that night. It was the two guys on the right side that I don't think had ever met before that day.
Did the line get outshined in horribleness by the receiver core that night? Because if I remember right, Tyreek Hill had no concept of depth perception and
Well, I mean, here's Mahomes throwing the ball. Here's the ground,
uh,
and the ball hit Tyreek Hill right in the face in the end zone, and he, of course, yeah,
back on the Lions, even they lose by 3, and even at that, it took a Brandon Ayuk
that
miracle
was. Oh
interception
my gosh.
where the
Well, as soon as that, yeah,
interception off of his face mask for
yes.
them to be down there and score that one. So
Well, when he caught that, it's like, yeah, that's a crazy play that will probably lead to a win.
yeah, they always do.
I mean, every time you see a ball bounce a certain way, it's like, yeah, here we go.
Like the Mark Bradley bobble and catch over the.
Why do you do this?
No, we won that one.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
thought you were talking about the
no,
Orange Bowl where he
not
dropped
the
the punt.
not the punt reception, not the punt.
Yeah, Dan. I that's where my brain is too. Like I was talking with my uncle last week after I got him, to stop talking about how bad OU is going to get beat in the SEC. When I was in the lovely city of Topeka, Kansas.
Pika. That was your
But
old collegiate stomping grounds, wasn't it?
that's right. Yeah,
Wash
fighting Ichabods,
Ichabod,
Washburn.
Washburn.
Yeah, as long as Mahomes is on the field, they're the favorite. I don't care who they're playing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it still
He's
proves.
that good. Hell, MVS is catching the ball again. All things are possible.
But here's the thing: I've always thought he's been a little bit underrated in big situations. I think he bailed
No
Rodgers
doubt.
several times. I know that.
Oh, I know, but if he just caught half the balls he dropped this year, Kansas City plays. They never leave Arrowhead
They don't have to go on the road.
until the Super Bowl.
Well, and that's another thing that's probably in the mind of Shanahan and the 49ers is that, we finally get them bumped out of the top spot in the AFC and, you know, they go on the road twice and win. I mean, just and
Well,
one.
that was the narrative. Mahomes has never won on the road in the playoffs, and then he goes on the road in the playoffs, and that's no big deal.
Yeah. And, I'm sure a lot of people thought that, the Ravens and Lamar Jackson, until Lamar proves it in the playoffs, I'm probably pretty skeptical. But so anyways, Marnie's got his prediction in. I'm going to say Chiefs probably right in that range, 28-21, 31-24, something like that. I could see that.
Chiefs 17-14.
Ooh, defensive battle. All right.
Yep.
I don't that San Francisco defense is good, but I don't know.
They're
It,
not as good as that defense that Mahomes hung 10 on or 21 points in the fourth quarter of the last Super Bowl they played.
well, sure. And then also, I mean, I thought I thought Detroit had opportunity to really bust. Really, if Detroit catches the ball,
Yeah.
I mean, they had so many drops and just not helping out Goff. And then, what that makes you do is panic and you scrap the run game. But I thought Detroit's running game could have had a lot more success against that San Francisco defense if they just kept their composure.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, these are heady times. So just thinking about, I was talking to a fella at the gym yesterday. Like, you come from Bill Kenny and Steve DeBerg to this.
Yeah, I mean it's a truly golden era in Chiefs football. So I'd probably say 28-24 or 30. I think I'll go with 31-24 Chiefs.
I
And
think they're going to score that much.
yeah, yeah. It's the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They're not going to want a 17-14 game. So
I just think it's going to be an exciting 17-14 game.
if you're a football fan, but I mean they've got a whole different contingency they have to cater to now, thanks to your tight end.
Well, you have Kansas City will
Game's
have the
so
ability.
boring.
Shut up. Kansas City will have the ability to run the ball with Pacheco.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's kind of where I was going with that. Is Pacheco's a pretty strong battering ram, and then So, anyways, Super Bowl will be coming up, media days all next week, and just all the coverage and everything that goes along with that. Dan Narva, oddball pick, Chiefs 25, Niners 22. Yeah,
That
that's
looks like scoreagami.
he's in one of those squares. he's
Yeah.
he's got to get 5 and 2. Uh, Good job, Dan. But so let's go ahead and break away from NFL talk. Do you want to get into your Oklahoma City Thunder, or do you want to get into some college basketball and slash college athletics in general talk?
Let's go college.
All right. So OU basketball is man, they got a nice road win the other night, and just or no, it was at LNC, wasn't it?
No, that was on the road.
It was at K State.
That was in Manhattan, a place where they haven't won in a couple of years.
Exactly. So Porter Moser, here's the thing, and I say that a lot on this show, but here's the thing, Jeremy. This Big 12 basketball conference is as tough as you're going to find.
It's tough. OU dropped 2 games at home,
Yeah.
and then goes and plays a good K State team on the road and just dog whips them for most of the game.
Yeah. I'm looking at the standings right now, and Iowa State is currently in second place and just a game ahead of, I guess they're ahead of Tech, and that Texas Tech game they dropped in Norman was disappointing.
It was extremely disappointing, as was the Texas game that they just failed to show up for.
Yeah. And if I'm not talking about OSU right now, I apologize, but I mean, they're bottom of the conference, so there's nothing
They are not good this year.
terrible. And we'll get into maybe see what they end up doing with Mike Boynton in a minute, but Houston is the real deal. I mean, they have Final Four written all over them. Now, I didn't think they were overly impressive the other night at Austin, but I know you bring in a top ranked team to the mood.
It's just crazy, man.
Yes.
Kelvin Sampson he is just a great basketball coach.
Yeah, he
He
is.
really is.
But
He,
he's annoying as all get out. I mean,
yeah, he's kind of like Eddie, like Eddie Sutton was. He's probably never gonna win an Addy. I mean, he's gonna come close.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully, it'd be really cool if he could. Especially, because he coached at OU for a long time. Now, those were some of the hardest basketball teams to watch I've ever seen. But man, he's been doing it for a long
drive me
time.
nuts with him, and then also, hold on, I'm going to lift my chair back up. I set it down.
Yeah, I can see your elliptical.
I don't. You're gone. New studio arrangement, and don't quite have the camera angles all figured out, but this is supposed to be a radio studio anyway.
Yeah.
The thing about it, and I noticed this the other night, is Kelvin will use that shot clock. And then when you're struggling offensively and you do that, and instead of taking a good shot,
You're just going to work it, and throw up a desperation at the end of the shot clock.
That's going to be that. I mean, I'm not a college basketball expert, but I would think that would be the moniker of his lack of success in the tournament. I mean, it's annoying.
What is the shot clock now? Is it 25 or 30?
I think college is 32, isn't it?
I remember it was 40 a few years ago, and that was just ridiculously bad. I mean, we are getting some scores now, but they need. Okay, what's the most successful? The most successful, most watchable form of basketball on the planet is probably EuroLeague.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
NBA, EuroLeague, professional. They need to do everything they can to emulate those leagues. Go to 4 quarters. Go to a 25-second shot clock. Adopt all those rules. Timeout to advance the ball. Just make the game more viewer friendly. Get rid of the under 16 timeouts. Because if you go to quarters, you're going to have built-in timeouts there. Just every level of friggin' basketball is 4 quarters, but men's college basketball. Hell, the women have been doing it for years.
Exactly. And
why?
It makes me insane that there's not just universal rules and and everything for basketball everywhere. So Dan Narva commenting, and he's right. And I just found it online. 30 seconds shot clock, then 20 after a rebound, which he has to live that same hell up there with Izzo as well. He's
Yeah,
the old
at
school
least there's
guy.
those one natties.
Well, yeah, Izzo's gotten it done. In fact, one time over Kelvin.
Yeah,
Uh, was that the Flintstones? I think.
that
Mateen,
was one where Nahara got knocked out, wasn't it?
yeah, that's where they took him out. But
Mateen Cleaves.
yeah, the Flintstones, if I remember
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Correct me. But it's funny. Just yesterday, an article published on the Mothership website. Is it time for a 24-second shot clock in men's college basketball? Definitely so. I mean, because here's
It's
the
been
thing:
time.
college basketball is being is being usurped by Euro leagues as far
Yes,
as the fast track to the pros.
or even the G League.
Sure.
Just it's just so irritating. I'll just if OU's playing, I'll go to the gym because I can watch it at the gym because there's a timeout every 3.5 minutes.
Hmm.
So no issue. Oh, it's the under 16 timeout. Oh, it's the what is the under 8 timeout? Oh, we got
Yeah.
a timeout on the floor. We got time. What are you guys doing? Play ball.
Hmm.
I just can't deal with it.
Of course, last night I was thrilled to be able to catch Oregon and USC, which ESPN's committed to showing Bronny every time
Oh boy,
the
is
state
he
court.
still
But thank goodness
what?
it was Bill Walton on the call. So
What are they going to do when the Lakers trade Papa?
yeah, they're gonna have a place in Rose Creek or Galardia. That's what they're gonna do.
No, we don't want it. No, no. Presti has built a culture, sir. Do not want that here.
Nothing better than to help that culture than to bring in the goat, that's still
Oh
chasing
my
number.
gosh, no.
I,
Now he's just gonna be a ring chaser like Shaq at the end of his career.
oh yeah,
I
I
thought he was the greatest of all time.
mean, greatest of all time that had to. Never mind, we won't. I don't even want to touch it.
You
But
know, I still think Larry's better.
man, Bird was so good. Uh,
Yeah, he was.
I mean, and we never mind. I said we weren't going to go there. You about lured me, and people are so wary of being lured. But but no. So college basketball is going to be fun watching the Big 12 down the stretch. In the fact that OU could get themselves in the mix.
Has there ever been a college conference that's been more of a meat grinder? Maybe the old Big East days than
Yes,
what
yes,
the Big 12 has been the last 5 years.
yes. And look at this at the bottom of the league. And now looking back, thank goodness OU got that win on the road at Cincinnati.
Oh, I know.
But BYU's got wins. Central Florida, of course, most everybody's big wins are against Texas. So
Hmm.
West Virginia, Huggy left them some talent. They're not devoid.
Oh, there's one thing Huggy could do is bring dudes in.
Yeah, I mean now they're under 500 overall, but here's the thing. I think Fran Fraschilla was saying, or maybe Lenardi, that the Big 12 could be looking at 8, maybe 9 tournament teams.
Well, you got to think Houston, Iowa State, Tech, K State,
K
TCU,
State's
Baylor, and
K State's
Oklahoma are in.
yeah. K State's 8th, and you're not going to leave them out.
So those guys, I think they're in. Then also you look at Kansas State is 14-7, BYU's 15-5, Texas and Cincinnati are 14-7.
What if they all just kind of beat each other up? I mean, I don't think Houston's going to take too much on the chin, but if the bottom 4 of that top 8 just kind of beat each other up, does it change?
Like if you see over half the conference is 500 in conference play,
Yeah,
hasn't that been happening every year?
I think there's still enough hype and enough respect for the conference that they probably, let's just say this: there's no way they're getting less than 7, right?
They've got 8 teams ranked in the top 25, which is, I mean, it's tough to get ranked in men's
Yeah,
college basketball because there's about 1,000 teams. So if you're in the top 25,
1,000 different
you,
data points that they look at to.
right. But if you're in you agree, if you're in the top 25, you are a good basketball team. Yes.
Yeah, you have to be.
So, I mean, Texas isn't in the top 25. They're 14-7. They've got some big wins.
My question
Uh,
is my employer, Right Media, is a our sports talk station is a Fox Sports affiliate. So am I going against company policy if I mention Lenardi or the mothership or anything like that?
I don't know if on this
Bracketology.
platform you are. I don't know. Shout out Nick
Still have
Wright.
I still have some. I hate you. Every time the promo comes on for first, what is it? Speak your mind or first things first.
First things first.
Yeah. My wife sees his hair and goatee is like, what is he doing? Fighting it, honey.
Yeah, he should probably just buzz it off again.
He's fighting it hard, and that douchey California look. So, big matchup coming up Saturday, though, as the Houston Cougars travel to Lawrence to take on Kansas. So there's an L.
Oh my gosh. Well,
You
I mean, who are the Big 12 officials going to choose to screw in that game? Houston or Kansas?
yeah. Oh, it's Kansas. So, but no. Anyways, I don't know Porter Moser. The fact that they rebounded and came back the other night,
It gives me
probably
some hope that we don't
probably
see that late season slide again.
probably
But
should shave off some of the concern that he might lose might be losing the team a little bit because, like I said, you go out and lay eggs the way they did against Texas and Tech.
it's
Uh,
not that they're just laying eggs because they find their way back into the game, but they get back into the game late in the first half and they're gassed.
yeah, and those comebacks take a lot of energy.
And
So,
they got to start better.
yeah. All right. So talking about energy, not the MLS minor league team in, in Oklahoma City, but the energy of youth, Jeremy, and that seems to be something that the Oklahoma City Thunder has in droves. And they're young, they're having fun, and they're pretty
The
good,
world loves them.
pretty salty. And
Yeah.
they're currently second in the Western Conference, which after coming off of what a 2-game losing streak,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of a little bit of an inexplicable losing streak as well. They got a win the other night, yeah, without the Nuggets didn't have Jokic, but NBA's just kind of whack.
Yeah, in an 82 game schedule, you're gonna drop a game to the a bad Blazers team
Yeah.
on the road. You had a home and away back to back. That's we talked about this a few years ago. One of those is a scheduled loss. You're not going to be able to get up for both of those games. And a few of their losses this year have been weird. When they flew into where was it? It was on the East Coast, Orlando or something, and they didn't get in till like 6 in the morning, and then had to play the second night of a back to back that night. It's a long schedule.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. You
Well,
know,
um, also teams, even bottom of the league teams can kind of hit a stride,
well, they're all pros.
because didn't Portland beat Milwaukee the other night?
Yeah, yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, they can get hot from three and
yeah,
play with anybody.
yeah, you get streaky shooters and they start hitting, it can happen. But obviously, probably the the biggest victim of some of that, ebb and flow is the Boston Celtics who
Oh,
the Lakers last night without LeBron and AD, or maybe just the Lakers are a better team without those two.
could be. It could be the Caleb Williams effect. Oh, hey,
Uh,
yeah, I know. But Oklahoma City put a pretty good beat down on Boston too.
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know how good they are, but I mean they've got 37 wins. They gotta be doing something right. They've got Tatum and what's the other guy's name?
Brown,
Huh?
Brown.
Yeah, yeah, and Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, Porzingis is there. Jalen Brown still got. Do they still have
They have some white dude I've never heard of that can shoot the absolute eyes out of it.
Drew
That
Holiday?
seems to be a Boston staple.
Honestly, I haven't paid that much attention, but they lost the OSU kid, right?
Yes, I believe he's with the Grizz now.
Okay, Derek White, former San Antonio.
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart.
Marcus Smart. They have Derek White.
Yeah,
Yeah.
former Spur. And so I don't know, but here's the thing. championship or bust is not necessarily in the equation with this team this year in their incarnation. They'll have in the playoffs they would need a whole lot more rebounding.
Talking
Uh,
about OKC.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
They're
still
they're
enjoy the ride. I mean,
yeah.
they're
The
21.
championship window is just opening.
Exactly. Exactly. You got your star center slash shooting guard in his really first year.
Needs to be handcuffed to a buffet in the off season. Yes.
Get him down to the stockyards.
Yes.
We'll have lunch at McClintock's and then dinner at Cattleman's, pal.
Every day.
Pork chop for lunch, T-bone at night. But yeah, so it's a fun deal, and man, they just seem to be having so much fun. I mean,
Yeah.
post game
And
in
listen,
become must watch TV, and
I'm putting my Thunder blue glasses on right now because Joel Embiid may have torn his meniscus. He may be out for quite a while, which means he will not qualify for the MVP this year.
SGA.
SGA MVP?
Why not?
I mean,
Gonna
who's
ask.
having a better year?
I was going to ask you this: who's been the better Thunder player in the time that they've been in blue? SGA, Russell, or KD?
Uh, SGA?
Yeah, he's. I mean,
Averaging over 30 points a game. He's a good defender.
that's where I was going. Is like, I mean, okay, so Russell had his MVP year. He was.
He's not the playmaker Russell was, but he's every bit the scorer that KD was when he was here.
What do you need to win in the NBA?
Scoring and defense.
Scoring and defense. So I don't know the intricacies of the numbers of each season, but I just, as I report a few Thunder stories here and there on our network, it's like every night SGA's 30 points. He's been 30 points consistently.
Well, another thing we're not talking about, and your favorite general manager in the NBA, one Sam Presti, seems to have hit on every draft pick except for one in the past 5 years.
Who's that? Mitch? What's his face?
Poku.
Oh yeah,
Poku.
yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, he drafted Giddy.
He came
He drafted
from Europe.
who?
Poku. He was
Yeah, he was he was playing in a minor league over there. And he may still turn into something. He's still very young. But both of Jalen Williams are solid players.
Yeah.
Guys, J Will or J Dub, I don't know. The one that starts is fantastic.
The Arkansas kid.
The Arkansas kid is a good defender and a good rebounder.
DJ Will.
He's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
He used to be a team leader. He's always got the camaraderie showing. And that's
Trey Mann and Andrew Wiggins are both, solid players when they get there.
Who's the other kid that I really and here's the thing, all transparency, in all Pokashevsky's still on the roster.
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay.
So I mean, he doesn't play a lot, but yeah, he's back and forth.
Who's this? Tell me about this Keontae Johnson.
Keontae Johnson. They just drafted him. Oh, Kason Williams is the other one.
Oh, that's
really good.
Yeah,
Kason Wallace. He's they drafted him this past season. Oh gosh, this college escapes me.
Kentucky.
Kentucky. He can fill it. He can shoot. He is a good shooter.
He's averaging 6.7 points per game.
He's a rookie.
Yeah.
So he's finding his way. But
therein lies the energy that I'm talking about. Because if you think about it, Jeremy, and this is why if the Warriors manage to get up in the seeding or LA's, in the play-in or whatever, I mean, they fashion the playoffs for the older players.
Yeah.
Regular season is for young guys that still can get out there and get after it, 41, over 40 games a season. So,
can you believe the foresight that the Philadelphia 76ers had to just release Isaiah Joe and get no compensation for him?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. So
great shooter.
He's been with Oklahoma City since October, and Presti like that, and I don't know. There's too much of an Arkansas vibe on this Thunder team. Tell Connor Carr I said that too.
I know. It's starting to build tar paper shacks around the arena.
Wow. All right, everybody checking in. Dan Narva, props for Northwestern Wildcats. They're good, 1-1 and nearly 2 wins thanks to the refs over the Boilermakers. Purdue in football and basketball is no team that I'm going to have real faith in long term. I mean, weren't they the second team to ever lose to a 16 seed last season, or was it?
Was that Purdue?
I
Let's
know
see, we
for
had Virginia did.
I,
Might have been.
I know
I
I
have to be a fan
Purdue
of a guy from
went early.
Purdue this
Maybe
year.
maybe it was round of 32. I don't know, but
You know, we
uh,
got Deion Burks from Purdue that's going to be playing wide receiver for Oklahoma in the fall.
for sure. And then Beanball got the KREF. I can mention them because we carry their broadcast on 97.3 The Score. But Beanball got recruiter of the month. He pulled in some transfer portal guys that I guess should help immediately.
Kid from Washington and the kid from
USC.
SC and they got the kid coming up from North Texas that was a freshman All American.
Yeah.
And then Spencer Brown from Michigan State. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah. So sorry. Who's their coach came in for Tucker?
Michigan State. I do not know, but I know Dan does. So I'll be watching the stream.
And I
Mark D'Antoni.
feel so terrible. John L. Smith. I feel
Yeah.
so terrible because Dan follows so much of the sports and stuff that we talk about, and I have not been reciprocal.
Jonathan Smith. Thank you, Dan.
He's a good man.
He was at Iowa. Okay, it was Iowa.
When
Was it?
No, I know Purdue was upset early. I just can't remember if it was round of 32, but if it wasn't round of 64, then Virginia would be the only one. Because what was
Why
that?
doesn't
Baltimore, Maryland, Baltimore County that beat them?
UMBCC? Yes,
Yeah. So, uh, Max
the
Pass.
Labradors,
Yeah, they were the
or is
Labradors.
it the Retrievers? Something like
No, it was
that.
the Labradors, I believe. So,
Yeah.
well, listen, we need to probably get out of here, but man, kudos to your Thunder. My Spurs are down at the bottom of the league. I don't get to see that much. The only
Mm-hmm.
I see because where I'm at, I didn't want to put a big lightning receptor on my roof, and so we have streaming, and YouTube TV doesn't offer Bally's. You have to get Bally's separate streaming, and I'm not paying that.
Bally's is pretty not great.
Yeah, they're under, aren't they?
They have been, yes.
Isn't that why
Heck, they actually played a game on the Lock 52 the other day.
it's Friday nights? I think that's where they
Yeah.
do their games now. So I mean, here's the thing: for years, like the Spurs have had a local affiliate that carries, the game.
And they all should. I don't know what the point of not doing that is.
But I mean, we live in an era where there's a blackout on games for Houston all the way up here in Oklahoma. I mean
That makes so much
I can
sense.
remember that back in the day when we lived up just down the street from you and had Bally's on our cable system. And it's like, oh, it says Astros versus Angels, but there's a blackout.
Yep.
I don't know. Take me back to the old days of prime sports back in the
No,
late 80s.
Fox Sports Southwest even.
I remember the first time I had a roommate. It was after my previous endeavor into matrimony, but I had a roommate that I moved in with him to help him keep his house out of from losing it out of the big D. And I'd never experienced Dish before, and I was stunned at how many Fox networks there were.
Oh, there used to be just a ton.
I mean, every
Southwest, Northeast, every
metropolitan area.
direction. Yeah.
Detroit, and some of it would be blacked out. You had to buy a special package, but Southwest, and that's the thing about Fox Southwest is that there was Houston, Dallas, and then they added the Oklahoma City part because of Thunder. But good old times. So
we had it all.
Back in my day.
That's right.
What's on the agenda for your weekend?
I don't know. Probably go to the gym. I
Where
don't
you
know.
where you
Try,
gymming at now? Because I noticed there's some
I,
big monstrosity, and I was in Norman last weekend, and there's a big monstrosity there across from the shopping area. Is that a
across from the shopping area.
behind the Embassy Suites on 24th?
Talking
Big.
about Crunch?
No, no, this is up there around.
Oh, you're talking about the Young Family Athletic Center. That's a thing that uh funded by Norman Regional Hospital and Trey Young. That's why it's called the Young Family Athletic Center. Yes,
Trey's doing
it's
well.
I guess it's like a YMCA.
Okay. Uh, let's see. Dan Narva, we lost to number 15 Middle Tennessee this year. Buddy won the Naismith. That shot
Denzel Valentine.
Bill Valentine. That loss was the Continental Divide of awards that year. Buddy took OU to the Final Four and won all the remaining awards. Yeah, that was Villanova's championship year because they abused Buddy and the Sooners that year. Was that
Yeah, they did.
Longhorns only
That
final?
was in yes, that was his only Final Four at Oklahoma. I think he didn't he take Illinois to the Final Four.
He may have. Yeah.
I know he got K State like to the Elite Eight one year. I
Mitch,
want to say,
Mitch Richmond, 88.
yeah.
Had they not had to play Kansas, I think that year, Kansas
Well,
not
you mean the team that won the national title? Was that
won the scripted league. Dan
yeah.
Narva, Max Patton, and that was Max Patton that commented. Man, I'm terrible at reading names anymore. Dan Narva, Marty Wandry, Max Patton. Thank you guys for checking in. And Jeremy, enjoy yourself, and thanks for jumping in with me. And we'll try to do it again real soon, maybe post Super Bowl.
Sounds great.
All right, he's Jeremy Schroeder. I'm Chuck Ramsey, the Law Dog. Be sure and check us out on social media at Law Dog Sports. We'll talk to you soon.